Swords or blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Heard. Will be heard. Will be heard. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall. Words of blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean. Spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night. Join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more.
What is going on, everybody? We're back at another stream, another live. You know where you're at. You're at Spartan XQ Network. I am your host, the Spartan Cape here. So tonight is going to be an interesting show because it's something I've been thinking for a while to do this. So the show is Forgive Him or Cut Him Off. So personally, I struggled with this for a couple years because cutting somebody off is a ballsy move versus forgive them. Forgiveness is very easy in my opinion, but cut them off, you have to disconnect them in emotion from that and stop talking to them. Somebody could be a close friend, a family member. In my case, it was a family member. But before we get into the whole full conversation, let's get my first guest in here. From the other side, from the UK, my man is coming in. Greg, what's going on, my man? You're on mute. You're on mute. The mute button got you, man.
Bastard. How you been doing, brother? You still as handsome as ever.
I'm a little furry right now.
Get a bit more grayer than me though.
So, the question I have for you is: would you forgive or cut him off? What is the option in your book more reasonable and
Yeah,
more
both
fair?
really. Depending on how bad things happen with your friend, relationships, whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. My ex, you know about my ex anyway. I'm not going to go into the past, but you already know about that. It's already
Yeah.
on some of the other shows. Anyway, but with a few friends of mine, I've cut off people who've wronged me, being an absolute fucking piece of shit towards me. So I just cut them completely off. But my best mate, he's done a few bits and pieces, but I've always forgiven him for it.
So, it's hey Mariano, what is going on? So for forgiving, that can be a very stressful situation because you don't know if you can forgive them officially.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it can be more stressful. But to let them go, it could be a fear because something
Yeah.
you're comfortable with being them in your life, have them around with you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
in my case, it's when my mother relapsed, her cancer came back, was pretty stressful for my time alive, in my lifetime, because I didn't know what the outcome was going to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And my cousins, actually, I mean, let me back it up a little more. When my mom first diagnosed with cancer,
Yeah.
and I just needed support, a backup. You know what I'm saying? Not asking to take them to the doctors, not asking for anything like that. I'm not
Yeah.
asking to financially, just somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Support.
They cut me off. And you know what I said? Fuck you to that. Fast forward about 2 years later, when her cancer came back, we weren't talking, and unfortunately, my aunt passed away from cancer too, and that hit the fan even more. Shit hit the fan more,
Mm.
and that's where I said, "I'm done. I'm done." I'll give you another example. I was young and stupid. We've all been young and stupid, right, Greg?
You could say I was, yes.
Scary thought.
The shit I told you in the past.
Yeah. So my mother was in Greece handling business at the time. My dad was working in New York. I live in Philly. I mean, I'm PA, excuse me, in Pennsylvania. All right. So I was throwing all these parties. My friends were coming over. And one of my friends, out saying his name, said to me he was supposed to be my friend. We were like this at one point, saying, anything goes down, I got you back. I got you, homie. Don't worry about it. Nothing's gonna happen as long as I'm here. So a fight broke out in my house. Guess what he did?
Go on.
I want you to guess. What do you think he did?
I can't think of anything. That's
Except,
a carry on.
except it's helping me break up the fight, and like everybody was trying to do, he got in his car and dipped out. He bounced.
Yeah.
So about a day or two later, I get a phone call from him. He's saying to me, "I'm hearing you talking shit." I go, "You're not hearing me talking shit. It's fucking facts.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be my boy. You're supposed to watch my back." And guess what? You dipped out. And he didn't say a word because he knew I was right. That's the last time we spoke.
Yeah. I can say the similar sort of thing about my cousin. I did something really bad and he forgave me for it. I slept with his girlfriend.
The fuck?
I actually slept with my cousin's girlfriend.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not lying.
You UK people are fucking freaky motherfuckers.
Oh yeah. I just get worse.
All right, hang on a second. Let me get this guy in here really fast. So let me just get his theme song going.
Ah. Holy crap. I can barely see him. I can barely see him. that it's too shiny. It's too shiny.
Very funny. No,
Hand it down a little bit.
Shut up.
Hey, Doc, no hate to you, no hate to you. But when I donated my hair, I went on. I done a lot of crazy things with my hair. I have grown it out. I gelled it up. I done everything. So once in a while, I will shave it all off. All right. But when this time I shaved it, I went bald. I mean, I took a straight razor to my head.
Wow, I
saw that video. I saw that video.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it was a safety razor. Same thing. Safety razor, same thing. And from my research, the best thing you can do after shaving your head is use a little beard oil, because it's the same thing when you put like hair oil. Same thing.
Really?
It's the exact same fucking thing. 2-3 drops, nothing more. I rubbed it in, I put it in. I like the shiny look to the head. You know what I'm saying?
I use coconut oil basically,
and that's not bad. But beer oil has other oils. It's not one product. It's
right?
jojoba oil, it's jova oil. It's so many different 5 different blends, and that's why that's the best. If you guys remember, actually, you guys weren't part of the team at the time. When I first started my YouTube journey, I did what was called Grooming Reviews 101. That was the channel's name. I did grooming stuff. I had my beard was down to here. My hair was down to here. I even braided it, bro.
Oh my goodness!
And I did what I call Viking / Groot braid.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and it came out pretty fresh. My neighbor did it, and she goes, "Peter, I'll be honest with you, I love you to death, and you've been a great neighbor, but I have never braided a white guy's hair before tonight." I was like, I'm scared now. And she goes, no. Like, he needed to practice a few more times, but after that, my hair was already grown to the length I was ready to donate it. And I got to the point like, all right, it's time to go. It's really time to fucking go. Let me actually see if I can pull a picture up of my hair.
Clean shave for long. Craig, what happened to you? You lost a bet or something?
It looks like a penis now.
What?
Look at the young lad. Look at all nice and spiffy.
Don't take the piss, Anton.
Oh man. No, I can't grow a beard out. Like my beard's only grow out to a certain point, and I get a little patch right here. And I think that was from my time in the army, because I was always putting my cheek on the buttstock of a rifle. So I've always had
actually what happens if your hair grows in different lengths all over your face. All right.
Right.
Some people get a thick right here. Some people get the cheeks. Some get the mustache. Everybody There are a few freaks that can have a full-grown, old, even beard. It's freaky when some people do that.
Right.
So we usually have to give it time. That's all it is. It will grow in eventually.
I've tried that. I think I remember one time I went 2.5 months without shaving it, and it never came in.
You need
fully.
more time. You probably need closer to more like 4 or 5 months.
Nah, I'm good. I don't mind the shave. I like to shave. I feel a whole lot better. I feel nice. I feel so fresh and so clean when I shave and everything else, and I leave the Van Dyke and everything else. So, I'm good. I'm good. I couldn't see myself with like a And I think one time when I was trying to touch up my mustache, I actually messed up. So I had to cut the whole thing off, and I figured, you know what the hell?
I'm going to show you guys 2 videos really fast.
Okay.
My hair was long. Let me get it set up here. So, and when I actually donated to him. So here's the first one. All right, this is when I had it long.
Wow.
Actually, let me.
How long did that take?
3.5 years.
Wow.
I did make some mistakes in the process too.
Really?
Yeah. So it was my first time actually growing this long.
Okay.
My first major cut. And this is the major chop off.
Wow.
I can play.
Let's go with.
And this is what after I donated hair, and I said, you know what? I donated hair, like fuck it. I'm going all out, motherfucker. And this is because my mother asked me for a Christmas present. Now, I'll tell you the story once we're done with this.
Okay.
Shit.
This is a reboot for now. How long would it take me to go back to it? Probably gonna make a big mistake.
See the difference in my face?
Peter, I still got something in my background that I forgot to take off.
What?
Hold on. It won't click on it, bugger.
You're an asshole, bro. So that year that my mom, that's like an old picture. I fucking hate you, bro. I'm gonna throat punch you when I see you. When I meet you, I'm throat punching your ass. So when so that year I just donated my hair. My mom goes to me, we're eating dinner, and goes, and we're talking about Christmas, and she goes, like I got figure out what I'm gonna get her for Christmas, right?
Right.
Goes to me, you know what I really want for Christmas? Like, what is that? I'm like, I want to see your face one more time.
Wow. That's heavy.
And I go to her, oh Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
And when I told my like we don't talk about those words in this house.
Yeah.
So I gave her what she wanted. And at first I kind of regretted it, but I really didn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was watching one. I didn't really pay much attention, but I clicked on it to see if it was still running. He had like a beard that was running right down here.
Me or no?
Yeah, you.
My hair was never that long. The longest was down to here.
Real.
Yeah, 3.5 inches was the longest.
Honestly, the only other time I really had to shave my mustache off, and I really didn't grow this in yet. There were only 2 times I really had to shave my mustache off. First time when I was pledging a fraternity. Second time when I joined the army and I went through basic training. I had a cut. I was so happy when I shipped out. It was just starting to grow in. It wasn't like, it was kind of like into this, and they're like, yeah, that's gonna come off. I was like, oh man. So I had to go back to taking it off and everything else. The wildest thing. Oh,
Greg,
wow.
what the hell, man? All right, let's get into the show. What do you guys think?
All right, let's get started.
All right, so my opening monologue, if you heard what I said, Like, unfortunately, I had to cut my cousins off because when my mom got diagnosed with cancer, they told me to go fuck myself pretty much. And in these simple terms,
Oh
they
wow.
didn't want to do anything with me or nothing. They didn't care.
Uh-huh.
But that was the messed up part. You know what I'm saying? Try to give him a second chance. Same thing.
Right.
A lot of people are scared to cut people off for one big reason is the comfortability, the fear
Right.
of letting somebody go. But
Right.
at the same time, forgiving can be our most stressful thing in any type of relationship.
Oh, definitely.
So I want to hear your guys' opinion. Anton, I'll let you go first. You're the wisest and more grayer right now.
Yeah, he definitely is more wiser than us.
Yeah. Thank you.
His
He's
wife
old-
probably
he's-
won't-
he's
you know,
definitely
his
older
wife-
than us,
His
Peter.
wife probably doesn't think that sometimes, but that's a
No,
different-
very funny. No, my wife's at work.
What is he? What, 20 years older than us?
I thought
I
it
ain't
was
that
30.
old.
He was 30 years older than me.
There's
Chris,
only, I know how old Peter is because there's only a month's difference between us.
you really want to know how old I am?
62 was it?
Very funny.
I thought it was 70 more like.
Yeah, all right, whatever. I'm about to turn 50 in July. That's how old I am. I'm about to turn 50 in July.
So you're only 10 years, really
Has
10
anyone
years
got a
older than me in
shotgun?
a couple months.
Say again?
You're 10 years and a couple months older than me
Yeah.
because I'm November. I'm a November baby.
I was born in July.
Yeah. So, and you're, like I said, a couple months and
Right.
10 years.
Right.
So, all right, Anton, you're up, man. Go ahead. Let me hear your opinion.
It's always hard. It's difficult to cut people off if you have to, especially if you've had especially family members. If you have a very strong bond with family members, like you see your cousins more like your siblings than your cousins, and letting them go, that's a bit of a challenge. The only time I can honestly say I totally cut someone off is my brother-in-law, my wife's brother. My wife's the oldest of 10. I practically helped, my wife and I practically helped raise her younger siblings after their mom died. And two of her brothers are mentally disabled. So there was a situation I had with my brother-in-law, and I can honestly freely talk about it now because my wife is not here. He did the most unforgivable. I'll put it, yeah, I'll tell you, yeah, you kind of figure that out. He did the most unforgivable. One of my nieces told me,
Oh,
yeah. And
Oh my fucking God.
yeah. And she told me because she couldn't feel comfortable telling her mom or her stepfather, who's basically been more than a dad than her bio dad, and she didn't feel she could tell my wife, so she told me. And when she told me what happened, I said, you have to tell you. She at first didn't think I was going to believe her, but I did. And I told her, you have to tell your mother. Eventually she did. Her and her sisters told my sister-in-law. And once everything came out, I was already done. I was done. It was a mess. My wife.
question for you, Anton. I'm sorry to cut you off because I know you pretty well by now. Can we agree on that?
Right.
Knowing you, you probably lost your shit, to be honest with you, when you heard that news.
Oh, I wanted to. I wanted to break it up.
My question is going to you is, I know I will lose my shit, and I probably won't give a shit what is the outcome to me.
Mhm.
I would have done what I needed to get done as a man. Like,
Right.
I tell my girlfriend now, I'm like, don't ask me to stop being a man because I won't stop asking you to be a woman.
Right.
And so, as a military person and as a man, how did you not, just choke slam the shit out of the motherfucker?
Somebody had to maintain the order because my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my other brother-in-law, the one that was in the Marine Corps, they were ready to bury him. And the last thing we needed was for them to get in trouble with the law because of what he did.
Yeah, because they're active.
Because they were, and I had to break it up. So once I found out, I told him, you're done. I basically said, you're a persona non grata. You are no longer part of this family. I told him to turn in his keys because he was living with us at the time. I said, leave that phone because I paid for it. I told him, since my wife feels sorry for your tired ass, pack whatever you can fit in these bags. You walk out that door and don't come back.
In other words, you execute kind of on him.
I basically pulled a John Wick. I basically says your account is closed and I'm burning your book.
I'll be honest with you, I have never had dealt with it, but I dealt with it in a different way. That's the most situation. So years ago when I was with my ex, we get a phone call one day. And it's a very close family friend of hers. And her name was Jackie.
Okay.
Jackie's saying she's freaking out on the phone. Her husband is medically retired.
Okay.
When I'm saying medically retired is an understatement, bro. He was shot in the head. He survived.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And they were going to pull the plug and everything. And his wife flew overseas. Says, "You're not pulling the plug on my husband."
Right.
And he ended up surviving. He was half paralyzed, obviously. He wasn't understanding. But when he found out his brother-in-law did a similar thing, the first thing he did was they have one firearm left in the house, and she didn't think he was going to get to it. Guess what?
He found a way.
This army motherfucker got his firearm, loaded it. And when I heard he had his firearm, he's walking over there. I got in the car. I mean, on a normal traffic day, you're looking about 20 minutes to get to the house.
Right.
I made it under 10 minutes. When I talked to her, I looked at her like, "You stay here. I'm heading over there."
Right.
It was like a few blocks. So I'm not going to drive my car. That's going to be more hostile for him.
Right.
Because his head is probably active battlefield right now. That's what he's probably thinking.
He's breaking out the nasty habits, as we would say.
PTSD, that sort of shit.
Pretty much. So I end up running over there. That will be, I think, more non-aggressive, I felt.
Right.
As I'm talking to him, like I'm slowly reaching for the firearm. Eventually, he lets. I'm literally holding it, pretend the firearm is in my hand, and I'm holding it. And eventually, I talked him down to let it go. I was able to disarm it, obviously.
That's
And
good.
obviously, I walked him back out. The only thing I'm glad that night, no police officers got involved, because this will be different.
Yeah.
And definitely, if you're active, he wasn't. But if he was active, that man,
Oh, yeah.
he's not going to regular prison. He goes going to military prison.
Yeah,
And that's
he's going
10 times
Leavenworth.
worse.
He's going down to Leavenworth.
And that's 10 times worse from what I heard.
Oh, yeah. You're doing your time. You're going to make sure you do your time. Trust me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So at that point, you have no choice. You got to cut him off.
Yeah.
So, and this is where it goes back what I said. Is it more stressful or more fear to let him go? I think it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
In my case, I knew for years and years I should cut him off, but I was more fearful for me because it was a comfort zone for me, bro.
Right.
They're always been there for me. They were always hanging. We were for years. Every weekend, I used to go down there, hang out with them. Every weekend, go down and hang out with them. Then it was every other weekend. Then it was like when I could. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Life changed. My work schedule changed as a cook.
Right.
I was a cook before I became a chef and everything.
Right.
So anyway, long story short, I just couldn't.
That's
I
all.
just couldn't do it anymore. Yeah. And
That's
this goes to my next question. Do you think actually people change over time? Or do they are better at hiding it from the truth or their true attentions?
I think it varies by the person. Some people know how to change for the better, know how to change when they realize what they've done wrong and they try to do whatever it takes to make things right.
Mhm.
I remember a situation that happened between my brother and me. This was a long time back. Things happened between us. Unfortunately, alcohol played a role in it. That was one situation. What brought us back together was later, a few weeks later, after that incident, our aunt passed away. Right before my birthday, the day before my birthday.
Ooh.
She sadly had an aneurysm. She was at the church, right around the corner from where where my cousin was living at the time. Her daughter. She was in the States from Haiti because my cousin got married 4th of July weekend. and she was flying back to Haiti. And I remember talking to her the day before she passed. And she was walking home after she went to pray the rosary. And she wasn't not even another, I would say, 500 feet from the house. She just started stumbling and she fell over. They found that she had an aneurysm. And my brother and I found a way to mend. Like, we didn't really talk about it, but that situation brought us back to where what our family was dealing with is a lot bigger than what took place at my parents' house that 4th of July weekend. And what was even tougher was this is my father's sister. So we both had to be there for my dad. Because my dad is the patriarch. My dad is that guy where, in a lot of families, you always have that one male relative that sits at the head of the table. That's my father.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dealing with one of the toughest situations he never thought he would have to deal with. So my brother and I both knew we had to be there for him. And eventually whatever it was, we found a way to resolved it, and things got a lot better after that since. Because we knew whatever it is that led to that one situation, what our father's dealing with is bigger, much more important. So we mended fences, and the good thing about what guys do, we bond over brew. He had a couple of drinks, we talked, he apologized, we mended fences, and then we knew we had to be there for my dad. My sister was living in Europe at the time. She flew back after she was already here for our cousin's wedding.
It's funny you said that because my girlfriend now, she knows the whole story. All right.
Right.
And we have spoken about this multiple times.
Mm.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I do miss hanging out with my cousin. I do miss calling him, hey, just saying what's up for a few minutes and checking up on each other. I do miss that. I miss going to the bars with him. Because every year, because his birthday is the first or second week of December, and mine is the last week of November.
Okay. So I definitely
we used to go out together, and now I don't have that. I don't, what I'm saying? I don't have that. When I tell you guys, you are my family, my team, because mom and dad, and they can't be in the same room. They will probably kill each other, to be honest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. So when I call you guys, just call you, say, hey, what's up? And I've done that with you, Anton, a couple of times.
Oh yeah, and believe me, after losing my sister-in-law, it helped. It definitely helped. Believe me, it was.
I totally get it.
Those last couple of weeks were tough.
I'll give you credit to this guy. And like when Alex passed away, he called. It was through Messenger, but he called and check up and make sure I'm okay. Truthfully, I wasn't okay, and I'm not fully okay with it because it's a lot of trauma with his passing.
Right.
And then people say, "Oh, it's just a dog." Yeah, it's a dog. It's my son.
People who never had pets will always say that. I had 2 German Shepherds growing up when I was younger, and we had a couple of birds too when I was a little bit older. So I totally understand when you lose a pet, that hurts. And I remember my neighbors when I used to live at my old house, not far from where I currently am. They had this chocolate Labrador retriever, and we lived at our old house for 11 years. Mm-hmm. And I remember, like, within the first couple of weeks moving in and everything else, I got a chance to meet them. Real cool people, said hi, chat, this, that, and the other. Every now and then, like, especially when I came home from work, I'll go right, 2 houses up, go right in their backyard. We'll hang out, have a couple of drinks. That dog, Norman, come by, see me. I'll play a little fetch with them. Little things like that. When he passed, they had to put him down, sadly, because he was 14. And he was sick, unfortunately. And when they had to put him down, I was like, damn.
You said it was a German Shepherd?
Chocolate Labrador. I had German Shepherds growing up.
They usually live about 12 years average. Anything over 12 years, you're great.
Blessing.
You're on borrowed time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
So when he first passed, I went to church. I think that was the first week or second week. I can't remember. I believe it was the first week.
Mhm.
And one of my fellow church members made a comment to me. He goes, "It's just a dog. You don't need to cry over it." If I wasn't at church,
I know.
your ass would get ripped apart. You're lucky you're breathing.
Yeah.
And I told my priest, like, listen, I have so much respect where I'm at and respect for you.
Yeah.
If I was outside,
You're on hollow ground, so you already know.
if it was literally just across the street, this
Exactly.
conversation would go on differently.
Exactly.
I wouldn't put hands on him because it's not worth it.
Right.
But I will make him shit himself. It's very simple. But there are things in life you can control. Like I said, can they hide it? Yeah. I should have cut my cousin off a long, long time ago, and I didn't because of the fear of not having him in my corner. But when I did, it was gone. It was no fear. Yeah, I was numb at that point. I was able to move on very simple, very easily. And I'm okay with it. I can sleep better at night. Yeah, me and her argue all the time downstairs. We argued before the show started. 5 minutes later, we're laughing. Literally 5 minutes later, we're laughing. That's how we are.
Right. Honestly,
Some people say my relationship is toxic with my mother. I take toxic over nothing. So, go ahead. What you got on this?
when I come up, like after the thing with my brother-in-law, I was done, beyond done. When he turned himself in, I told him straight up. I wasn't embarrassed. I was ashamed. I was ashamed of what you did. You know better. I told him plenty of times, listen, go live on campus because this is it. Go live on campus because I felt you will learn to socialize better with people doing that. And the thing that really I was really angry with him about, I was like, you tell me you couldn't, when you were living on campus, you're going to college, you live in the dorms, you're telling me you couldn't find a consenting adult. You're telling me you couldn't find any young woman or man at the age of consent. Believe me, I've been to college. There's always someone on campus that's a willing participant. And I was just like, I was beyond done because I told him plain and simple, this is the last time we're ever going to have this type of face to face. I was beyond done. Like, I don't talk to him. I don't talk to him. I don't write to him. I never get to visit him. Like, I am basically just done with him. He's a guest of the state. He has like another year and a half left of his sentence. He's lucky that someone felt sorry for his tired ass for the nonsense that he did, because he could have got longer. But he's lucky that he found a judge that felt that and a prosecutor that had some pity for him. And I told him,
I'm surprised because they usually don't do that.
yeah. But I think because of what happened to him when he was younger, that was what played a role. But even still, I told him plenty of times. They have free counseling and therapy. There are people that you can talk to. There are willing participants on a college campus. There are a lot of things you could have done. And you chose not to do any of it. Like, I don't know what the hell I was talking about. And that's why it pissed me off even more.
I don't blame you. But hang on a second, Anton. Let's bring this guy in here. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president.
Ow!
Mr. President, how you doing tonight?
I am well. How are you?
Sorry, I don't have his on.
Holy
Hey,
shit,
you do
you're
a
still a
perfect-
handsome
You got to
bastard.
teach me how to do a perfect salute.
My forehead always hurts when you come on the screen.
It's your fault, not mine.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what? For kicks and giggles,
Ow!
Nah.
Damn, you are a bastard, Peter.
He knocks him out. If he knocks himself out during the screen, that's on him.
You
Yeah.
Americans and your fucking pain that you love, what seeing people in pain.
Pain is your friend.
Oh,
You-
my head.
I'll
is really
tell
sore
you
now.
the oldest trick in the book right now, Greg, in America. All right, no pain, no gain.
Pain is your friend. The more she hurts you, the more she loves
Well, only Paul and you would know that. You guys go to the gym more often than I do, and I don't go to the gym at all.
you.
I haven't gone to the gym in a while, bro. I've been working 20 hours to do that. My
Dude,
workout is my trick right now.
I would love to mess with you in an alley, right? But I wouldn't mess with Paul because he's like a fucking giant compared to me.
Greg, remember one thing. I am a martial artist.
I know you are, but I still like to mess with you.
Yeah, most martial artists can't fight. So
Oh, fuck off. Here we go. Debating again. I
won that debate. That was the first show of the Versus series, and I smoked Peter in that one. Smoked him.
You might smoke
Paul
me.
wins that one.
You might about martial arts. It's a different story. There's a reason why when I lose my shit, people would run the other way. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it there. But anyway, Paul. So tonight's show is forgive it or cut them off. I'm more about cutting them off because of my past, and you know my past, and I mentioned a minute ago. So I just want to see your opinion.
Well, I think as a human being, it's certainly one of the biggest, I guess, mental exercises that one will ever do. If I go though with just the way you titled your show, I think it's not a versus; it's a both. So in other words, I think the forgiveness part, I think that's something for your own sanity. I think forgiveness is something that you have to do. But again, the problem is people do not know the difference. There's 3 levels here. There's 3 areas here. There's forgiveness, there's restoration, and there's reconciliation. It's 3 different levels. Forgiveness is a solo act. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the person who offended you. It has everything to do with you, because the more you live with unforgiveness, it's toxic to you. And so forgiveness is ultimately about just letting stuff go, releasing. I remember a guy, he kind of tied it to, it's like, imagine if you tied yourself to a post and you can move around, but you can't go anywhere. It's like, as long as you hang on to that, it's an anchor. It weighs you down. And so unforgiveness, or living a life of unforgiveness, shout out to Braxton, as long as you keep living a life like that, you're the one. That's like, what they call biting your nose to spite your face. It's not a healthy way to go around. And if you have several people in your life that are like that, where you just unforgiving of people, then more times than not, in my experience, you're an awful person to be around. Because again, it starts to bleed in. It's like that Sith energy, right? That Sith energy starts to make you ugly. Why do you think Darth Sidious looks the way he does? Some people saying what he was practicing the whole time was Sith alchemy that made him look like Chancellor Palpatine. But the form that we got, that's what he looks like. And if you look at a lot of Sith in history, they all look ugly, all of them. Because again, that energy starts to just destroy them. It rots. It's necrotic to you, to your soul, to your body.
It's almost like it eats you from the inside out.
Yeah. And so living with unforgiveness is difficult. And that's why, again, just from a spiritual point of view, I think that's why when the disciples asked Jesus how much you should give 7 times, he says, no, 70 times 7. But the problem is that people think that forgiveness means that everything is, we copacetic now, everything's okay. And it's not. And it's not this idea of forgiving and forgetting. That's a misnomer also. You never forget. But the idea here is that With forgiveness, that's about you releasing or letting go of situations or people or whatever that so that you can move on. But if you're living in that state, it's going to affect every other relationship that you have that
Honestly,
you're trying to form.
Paul, I don't know if you heard my story. There's a reason why I feel the way I feel when it comes to my brother-in-law.
I got you.
And
I totally, and again, but this gets into the other two because again, I'm not saying that you and your brother-in-law are or will ever be, that relationship will ever be repaired. So that gets to the next level. There is restoration. Now, restoration, that's a two-person job. Both people have to be involved in order for any kind of restoration. So, Anti, you talk about you and your brother. The idea of restoring something back, taking a relationship and getting it back to where it was. Restoration, just like you would restore a car or furniture or some project or whatever. People restore houses and whatnot. Getting it back to its original form. Now, again, that's the second level, but it's still not necessarily a perfect level because a lot of times when you restore something, if you fully restore it, you're not only bringing the good, you're also bringing the bad with it, which probably led to the breakup in the first place. It's like if you tried to make a house today, remember them old style houses with the fuse box in the basement, with those little screw things that you screwed in. This is before the goofy switches and things of that nature. If I tried to restore a house with that original electric setup, I couldn't live in the house. They wouldn't. The township municipality that I'm in wouldn't certify the house. They said no, none of this stuff is the code.
Yeah.
You have to do the new stuff if you want this to work. So then there comes the third level, which is reconciliation. And with reconciliation, again, it's a two-person job. But in that, you may have to just tear the whole thing down and do something different. Because again, and you see this with couples a lot of times, they break up and they get back together off and on all the time. They never deal with the things that led to the breakup or the disagreement or whatever in the first place.
Right.
And so unless people stop and say, look, we gotta totally change out. So again, Pete, you asked the question just before I got on, can people change over time? If you want reconciliation, that change must take place. If change doesn't take place, you're setting yourself up for just a repeat of what you got before.
I agree.
And that's the hardest one. But that's the one that takes therapy. That's the counseling. That's the change habits. Like you got to do like a 180, both of you, if you guys want to make something else. But what you guys had is not working. And are you both of the same mind to say, can we do something different? And if you can't, then stay separate. And so I think that, yes, a person can genuinely forgive. That don't mean that you have to necessarily restore or reconcile a relationship. It was what it was. I'm going to move on with your life. I mean you well. I'm going to move on with mine. But we may never hook up or click again or whatever at all. But you're not living in my head 24/7 or changing or messing up what I got going on as positive. And every time your name comes up, then my whole countenance change and people be like, well, what's wrong with you? Because your name got mentioned. Now, I'm sorry, Braxton. I don't agree with that. I think it's toxic to your soul. Vengeance and all those things, I think that's toxic to your soul.
Paul, I'm sorry. What he was saying about his brother-in-law, I have the same feeling towards my own uncle. I went through the same, not with me, but his own family. Went through the same sort of thing, all right? There is no way in fixing that at all.
But see, I didn't say that. Wait a minute. I didn't say that. You totally
Sorry.
miss. Then you totally miss what I said.
Sorry, my mistake.
It may
I'm
never
sorry.
be fixed.
All right.
Forgiveness is not about fixing.
All right.
Forgiveness is about releasing.
All right.
Remember, if we're all Christians on this panel, it says, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong. You're my Bible nerd here. It says right there, you need to forgive. In the Bible, it says that.
Yeah, but like, I'm letting you. I'm defining. I think it's important
I
that
agree,
we
I
define
agree.
what forgiveness is.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
Because for a lot of
misunderstood.
people, they say, "No, I
misunderstood.
can't
I'm
do
sorry.
that. I can never be with that person." You automatically go to another definition that's not even doesn't even apply. We're misapplying terms that leads to confusion, and it sets up outcomes that we never established.
Yeah,
I never said that Anton has to restore with his brother-in-law or you with the relative that you were talking about. I'm not going there at all. Like I said, it may never be done.
No, it's my fault. It's my fault. I misunderstood you.
Right,
That's my fault.
right.
Sorry.
No, I'm saying, but I'm accepting though your reality that says you don't think that you can go there with him to repair or fix. Like I said, there's certain things that are done that are not fixable,
That's true.
but you can still forgive. And I'm not saying that's easy. But if we're saying we're in, certainly in the Christian context, that is probably the greatest task that you have on earth is to cultivate a spirit of forgiveness.
Paul, I'll be honest with you. All right. When something has happened to me, whatever, at first I might not be able to forgive you, but in time I can. It really
But
depends
what
on
does
it
that
is.
mean, though? What does that mean to you, though?
To me, is like, okay, maybe the first couple weeks I won't talk to you, or even a couple months. But
That's an
later-
action. I didn't say that. What does that mean to you?
What, the forgiveness part?
Yeah.
Forgetting me. How can I explain this the best way?
But you're getting into my issue. You're getting into the problem. Because
Okay.
the first thing that you said was that I may not talk to you for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm 99.
That has nothing to do with forgiveness. That's a restorative act. That's a restoration act. That's a two-person act. I said forgiveness is a single person act. That is you. You may never talk to this person again,
Correct.
but you can still forgive them.
I don't know if I could. Honestly,
But I'm saying, I'm like I said, I'm not saying forgiveness is easy, but that is the standard that Jesus set. Because if you walk in humility as a Christian, you understand how many times did you screw up? How many times did God forgive you? How many times, Anton, did you go into the confession booth and have to do what Catholics do and all that stuff? How many times? How many times did we say we would never do that again, and we did it the next day? And we asked God to forgive us.
yeah.
No, you have a very, very valid and good point. I'm not arguing that part.
Mhm.
But me personally, sometimes I can't do it right away. I just need time to cool off.
I understand that.
And I know
just
that's
want,
selfish. I know the Bible doesn't say that. I get that, Paul. I agree with
Right.
100% what you're saying.
and I'm saying, and I get you in terms of I am not invalidating your feelings. I
Oh,
want
of
you to
course, I'm not saying
understand that.
yeah, I totally agree with
The
that.
actions that you're saying that what you can and cannot do. I want to make sure, though, that you are exercising the right function. I still think you're confusing functions. When you say, I can't talk to that person, I got to get away from that person, that has nothing to do with forgiveness.
I'll be honest with you, Paul. With my cousin, the way he treated me and my mother when she got diagnosed with cancer, I'm never going to forgive him.
Mhm.
That's your fucking aunt, my motherfucker.
Mhm.
And you let us on the street.
Mhm.
I mean, not literally, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And my mother's
Yeah, like I said, it's not easy, and I'm not saying all I'm pointing to is that is the standard by which we are judged.
I mean,
If you don't forgive, then will God forgive you?
I get what you're saying, Paul.
When
But
Jesus was on the cross, he said, "Forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing."
what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm saying I don't want that piece to get missed. And it may not happen in a moment, it may not happen for years from now. But again, a lot of times there's people, for example, who I had these feelings for. And then a lot of times when you go down the line, you realize what that person was or why they did what they did or whatever, and you realize the state that they were in. And sometimes it just comes off you. You know what I'm saying? They say hurt people hurt people. And a lot of times when you understand what that hurt was, there's just something about that just says, you know what? Like I said, I may never talk to this person again, but I'm dropping this. Because like I said, it's been in my head. Your cousins are in your head. And they're putting you into, you could be having a great day. And you start thinking about these cousins and your whole countenance changes and you just mess up everything that was going good because these people are living in your head.
No.
And all I would want anybody to do at minimum for yourself, not for them, but for yourself. Let that go.
I'll be honest with you, bro. The last time I brought the thought about him is recently when my girlfriend asked me about my family.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, it's been 2 years since I thought about him because I don't put time and effort in that. I'm not going to keep my energy, energy like that.
But
And
it's still a wound.
Oh, absolutely. Because I want to break his goddamn neck. I'm not going to deny that. My mom knows, and you know me very well. There's some things I cannot outlook. And the reason I stay out of West Orange, New Jersey for a reason.
Wow.
Because when I bump into him, you and Anton and Greg together are not going to be able to hold me back. You probably have to bail me out.
What did you just say? Hang on.
I
You just
was
said
introduce my ex.
you just said you're staying out of a whole city.
Yeah.
Not far from me, too. That's right next door.
Not far from Anton because of them.
Mhm.
That means they're still in your head.
The old saying, they live rent free in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
That's
don't care about him, Paul, I'll be honest.
tough.
That's the only time I get my blood boils is when we bring up the subject.
I could
I'll tell you why, Paul, I'll tell you exactly why it boils my blood so much. When those fuckers didn't have two pennies to rub
I
together.
get it. Like I said, I'm not here. I am not.
Oh no,
You don't
I'm
have to.
explaining myself.
I'm saying you don't. But I'm saying you don't have to. First of all, you
I know I
explain to
don't.
me. You don't have to. Like I said, I get it. I am not here to invalidate and says your feelings are wrong for feeling the way you feel. You
absolutely, I
absolutely
agree
have a
with you.
right to feel the way you feel about how they treated you and your moms. Absolutely. I'm not excusing, and forgiveness is also not an excuse for what a person does to you. I'm saying forgiveness is a survival mechanism.
Wow.
Because if you don't, it's gonna hurt you in ways that you may not be able to see, but it is your relationships with other people, certain triggers, certain things that get you into a certain thing on the people who you do care about.
You know what?
Like I said, it burns you up. It's acid. It burns you up from the inside. I know who Peter is, the person. God would lay down his life for you. But you see this ugly side as well.
I'm not perfect.
And I'm saying, none of us are. I'm just telling you from experience. Like I said, there's things I remember like yesterday. It's right there. Like I said, that forgive and forget stuff is BS. But the idea, though, you still got to look at things in a different perspective and be like, you know what? I'm over it. I'm done.
Honestly.
And really like be over it. Not just say, okay, then the next time, okay, you're over it. And then I mention the names like, why you mention that person? It's like, you're not over it.
Honestly, Paul, I don't get like this when it comes to my brother-in-law because I know my wife still stays in touch with them, and I get it. That's her brother. Even she admits that where he is, he should be there. When my sister-in-law, my sister-in-law was unfortunately going through her situation, I was the one that told her, "You got to go down and see him and let him know what's going on."
Mm.
Because something like this, he cannot hear over the phone. So I actually made the effort and got the information for her so she can get in contact with the prison to put herself on the list to go see him that weekend. And when she was in the process of doing that, that's when they called her and asked what was going on.
Question for you, Anton. How long did he get?
8.5.
Really?
He pled
Holy
guilty.
shit. My uncle only got 3.5.
He pled guilty, got 8.5. If it would have went to trial, he would have gotten longer.
Heard it
I-
like 12.
I could never forgive my uncle.
So,
He was the main reason my firstborn got taken away from me.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So,
There are situations in life, unfortunately, I totally agree with Paul 100% what he's saying.
yeah,
As men,
it's
hard.
very difficult. I didn't say it's impossible. It's difficult. It's very
Oh
difficult.
yeah.
You can never
No
forgive
question about
someone
it.
who did that sort of thing.
And
That's all.
the fact that I did that for my wife was a bit surprised, but she was definitely appreciative.
Mm.
The fact
So
that
so Anton, so let me ask you. I didn't get all the story. I kind of got
Okay.
bits and pieces of. If you want to give me like the 30-second summary, but in particular, I want to know because you said he did the unforgivable.
the most unforgivable.
Okay, but
What is the worst thing in life
you-
that a human person can do?
Well,
That's the
that's
easiest
one
way to put
thing.
it. What is the
mean-
worst thing ever?
Unfortunately, we can't stay on camera because of copyright strike.
I got you.
Right.
But does it
But
involve a
if you
young
want to
person?
put it in the back chat, Anton, to let Paul know.
Okay. Nah, I got that. I got that. And yeah, I mean that is certainly something that, and certainly for the victims, right? That is, yeah, they have to.
Wait a minute.
They
Come out
certainly
here.
have to endure that. How are they coping?
I can honestly tell you this: of the 4, 3 of them still talk to me. They come to me about just, they talk to me. They feel comfortable talking to me because I've always been that adult. Like I've established a parameter with them where never be afraid to ask questions. Never be afraid to come to me and ask me anything and everything.
Sure.
And I'll be honest, anything and everything they tell me never gets past me. I don't tell my wife, I don't tell their mother, I don't tell their father, I don't say anything else. They know whatever they tell me is going to die with me.
I got you.
So 3 of them still from time to time will come to me and we'll
So I'm
talk.
saying, but how are they coping? Like, since they were the victims, how are they dealing with him? Because I would say, honestly, I would say you saw it, or you heard up whatever the situation was, and I know how that certainly can affect us. No one's going to be more impacted than them.
yeah,
So I would say the same thing. If you are the one who was, the victim, forgiveness is one of the only ways you can move on. Because again, that can be with you for the rest of your life, or what have you. So if you don't come to a sense in mind to let that stuff go.
right.
And then the thing is, if by chance they are, or they have been able to in their minds come to a state of forgiveness, then the question then going to be, then what are we holding on to then? Because they're the ones who took it. So again, that's what I'm saying. So it's their survival, but then when it comes to us, like those who are on the outside seeing stuff that's happening to someone, you say, oh, I can never forgive that person or what have you. Then is there something else? Because who's going to take it more than the actual victims themselves?
Right.
So then what are you holding on to then?
I think it's because the fact that it happened in the house, the fact that some of these things happen under our noses, and I didn't realize.
So is it about? I'm not. Look, I'm no shrink. I'm nothing. Right.
Right.
But you say if it happened under your nose, then is this about unforgiveness of him, or is it about guilt in yourself that how did this happen on my watch? And is the unforgiveness not about him? Is the unforgiveness about you? You didn't forgive yourself because this happened on your watch. So that's that deep stuff that, again, a lot of people don't want to go there and deal with it. Because, again, no one's going to take it more than the victim.
Right.
But with you, it cuts deeper.
Because I raised them. I practically.
Yeah. Like I said, it's you were the guardians. You're the protector. You're the dog. You're the that is your.
You know.
You felt a sense of I let them down. So really, where's the unforgiveness then? Him, he's in a cell somewhere. But you got to look at these people. Every time they talk to you, whatever, it's still in the back of your mind because, so that's some work that you may need to do in forgiveness of yourself and don't rot your soul out because unforgiveness of self, that's also, again, that's probably the most toxic. And you got unforgiveness of other people. That's like the next level. But yeah,
honestly, my nieces are not mad at me. They're very grateful that I told them what to do. They feel comfortable coming to me, like I said, because they know I'm going to listen. I'm going to give them sound advice. I've built that parameter with them for a very long time. You know, that's what
father.
I got it.
Now, from what I do remember, they didn't want him buried under the jail, but at the same time, they wanted nothing to do with him anymore.
And that's perfectly fine. And like I said, none of this has anything to do with him. This is about you. This is about them. And if people don't do that work to get over that, it's gonna be with you. And some of this stuff is, psychologists talk about some of the stuff is generational. We pass a lot of this stuff on to the next generation. You say African Americans, we have generational trauma going all the way back to slavery. I mean, this stuff is.
Well, my ancestors took care of the colony.
I was too lazy to get up and get them. That's why my glasses are off. But I'm telling you, this is the crux of it that I think where a lot of people are.
Well, my ancestors took care of our colonizers, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
I don't know, yeah, but having Haiti sense, man, I don't know some of those guys. Y'all won the battle. I don't know if you guys won the war because
and my anger goes towards.
So that's what I'm saying too. You can, in a bit of rage, you can be like, yeah, get them out of the country. But then,
trust me.
But then, like I said, the state of Haiti now, it's been ugly. But yeah, in rage, you can, and that's the right. But and that's also the difference between what Braxton's talking about. Also, vengeance. Yeah, you can do an act of vengeance, and certainly it can feel very cathartic for the moment. But if you want to talk about setting up for the future, you're gonna have to do things differently. I mean, there's got to be a different way of operating because the same ills and whatnot that you came out of that with. Again, Haiti has just been mired, and a lot of that's a mindset that you could probably still trace all the way back. So I'm saying, again, even Haiti's a model, but there's still some things that we gotta Sylvester careful off. Yeah, and it feels great. But then what are you going to do? How you build? It's easy. You can blow stuff up. But what you gonna build? What about your legacy? What about your family? What about the future generations? What about the transfer of wealth? All those things. It requires a state of mind that is clean enough, not perfect, but clean enough that allows you that mobility. But when there's unforgiveness, or if there's just pure vengeance or rage or hate or fury, whatever, it ends. I mean, what's that? Fist of Fury? I mean, Chinese Connection.
Connection.
Bruce Lee, he took everybody out. But at the end of the movie, he was taken out. And that didn't change a lot of what happened, certainly stuff going forward. But yeah, it was good when he said sick men of Asia, and he kicked that sign and everybody went crazy. It's like, yeah. But you still, what are you gonna do from here though? So that's the only contribution that I'm having to this conversation. I'm not trying to trivialize anyone's trauma, anyone's burdens, anyone's story, anyone's history. Yeah, all of it. It's ugly. It's bare, and it's right there. But if I didn't learn how to forgive, I wouldn't have what I have now. And there's some people I would never want to see the sight of them again.
That's how I feel about him. Like I told him, once you get out,
yeah,
you go about your business.
Yeah.
And I told him, you brought negativity into this universe because of your actions. It is now your responsibility to put it back in balance.
Yeah.
So plain and simple. And like I said, the only considerations I did regarding him was making sure my wife went down there to tell him, but because everything happened, she got a phone call. She spoke to him on the phone when my wife was at the hospital a few days before everything happened. My wife was trying to clear the room. It's so.
Right.
And my other brother-in-law, one in the Marine Corps, when he heard him on the phone and he was kind of like, getting choked up. This is the first time they've ever spoken to each other in like 7 years.
Right.
In a very long time.
Yeah.
Incident. And he said, whatever you're feeling, you need to pocket it now. You need to keep it to yourself. And you need to tell how you feel. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And that was the first time they spoke.
So I'm sorry, just a question. So your wife, you said, went to see him?
No, I got information for my wife to go down and see him. Because when we found out how bad things were getting, I felt like she needs to tell him face to face instead of telling him over the phone. When she got
right, so your wife went and saw him?
No, she never did. When she went online and explained and tried to put herself on the visiting list and told them the situation, somebody there got word of it and contacted her that same day. And we're like,
probably what happened was one of the CEOs who approves it, because it has to go through a approving process because he's probably on high security level.
No, he's in a prison for that. Jersey has a prison for that.
And they still call that high security when I worked in prisons, because it's weird how they word say things.
Yeah.
In a prison. Anyway, so one of the CEOs, also known like the white coats, those are the managers, supervisors in the prison. Anything if a CO acts out towards an inmate, you go to the white coat. Anything you're visiting to a white coat always. It depends on the level. Sometimes you need pre-approval. Sometimes you just can show up and just ask for a visit really fast.
Right.
It depends on visit hours. He probably heard, okay, this is we have to move this up immediately because it is a family member passing. Let's let him know so he's at least aware of the situation. Not like, oh, by the way, you're so and so. Like, yeah, he kicked the bucket kind of thing.
Right. So he was able to get a couple extra phone calls, this, that, and the other. I forgot how my wife was able to get in touch with her. I think when he called the day she passed, that's when my wife told him. And then the one thing that I was not happy about, and I was allowed to find out, was for him to get a furlough for to see her before the service. Now, I wasn't a fan of that, and I was really, but my sister-in-law wanted that. She felt like, well, this is still his sister. It's only fair. And I was not happy, but I was like,
You had to be the better person at that moment.
yeah, I had to. And I was the point of contact with the funeral director as well. Anytime
Did he get his furlough or no?
he did.
Surprised
He
he gave
did.
it. They don't usually give it out that easily.
No. But the funeral director, she would stay in touch with me. She felt I was the order amongst the chaos when it came to trying to put everything together. She knew I was the one with the level head, so she can contact me. When she told me everything's arranged, this, that, and the other, I told her I don't want him signing the book, but if he wants an obituary, he can have it. If he needs to write something to my wife, let him write it and address it to me.
How did your wife feel about? I know that's her brother, right? That's her. Yeah. So is the fervor,
the furlough,
as the fervor,
mm-hmm.
as much with her as it is with you?
Not really. Like, I get it, that's her brother, but at the same time, she is not afraid to say he was wrong for what he did, and he should be where he is.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't give her a hard time about it because I know some other people.
Okay, because I know some guys would. You know what I mean? Like when they say like misery loves company, right? I mean, it's like if you don't feel exactly the way I feel about this situation, then it's almost like you feel almost a sense of disloyalty because she's not as willing as you are to cut off. And again, I get it's the brother and all that, but in a way, I think that's worse because again, that's you may think that may reflect on you or what have you. So the fact that she's not willing to, I guess, totally disown him, or at least to the point that you are, I know some couples that would be a problem. And arguments will certainly break out. How can you not, because you're taking it to like the degree he's persona non grata, he's axed, he's 86, he's done. And she's like, well, hold on a minute. And you'd be like, what? At least I know some people who would be exactly like that. It's like, you talk about ride or die, you all in or you're not. And so the fact that, certainly it is encouraging that you still allow or, there's still some grace, certainly for her to work out or people to feel how they're going to feel, basically. I mean, she's going to feel how she feels, but I don't think that she'll be, if and when he gets out, I don't think she's bringing him to the cookout.
No.
Okay, so I get that piece, but I can certainly, because even siblings can get to that point where it's like, never see you again or whatever. So the fact that she's not willing to cut him off for that's interesting. that's interesting as well. But,
it is. But the stipulation also, because he pled, the stipulation is he is allowed no longer cannot have any contact with my sister-in-law, her husband, and the girls permanently.
yeah,
After he's out, he's basically he's gonna have to register, and he's basically be on their watch list for the next 10 years.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure with Jersey, but you have to be like so many miles from a school district too, right?
Just about.
yeah,
So, and ironically, we live right around the corner from we live right around the corner from the school most of my nieces and nephews graduated from, and my firstborn is currently going to school there.
yeah.
So, but other than that, I just told him before he turned himself in, I just said, when you get out, go about your business and bring back. You brought negativity. Now it's time for you, no matter how long it takes, to bring balance back.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That's what you.
Braxton's got all the movie references in there. I haven't seen half of these films, but I get the point. But I know he dropped a few
So
in here. So I just wanted to acknowledge that.
It's simple. That is, and I told him that is going to be your job when you get out. From that point you get out to the day you die. Your job is to bring balance to the universe.
Mm.
And I don't care how difficult it is. You took it. That's the cross you're going to have to bear.
Yeah, for sure. Wanted to I'd reach out. We had a gray area show Sunday, and we had King Smith. Shout out to King and Michelle. And there was an interesting thing that he said that I didn't. If I would have put two and two together, I would have reached out to him earlier about this show. He had said something to the effect of, if you're an anchor in his life, you're out.
Right. I remember that.
And what was interesting, he said it didn't matter who it was.
That's true.
He even said if it was his own daughter, if his daughter became an anchor, then she's out. And again, just in the context of the show, I didn't get a chance to follow up on that. But I'm just thinking, like, for tonight's show, it would have been interesting to get his perspective.
I get it. Yeah,
this one, because it's like, how do you, how could you do that? Well, what would your daughter have had to, you said, if she's an anchor, and what is being an anchor? What does that mean? I would definitely want some context there, because when I heard it, I just couldn't. It stuck with me, and like I said, I should have pressed a bit more, and maybe we can ask him in the future show. But what did you? So, Ansel, what did you think of that? I mean, or what that idea of if someone's an anchor, when again the theme of the show is like, do you cut people off or do you forgive or cut people off? What is your, and obviously you got the extremes, which we all talked about tonight. All Craig talked about his
right
and whatnot. But what does that look like to you? As far as that concept of okay, if you become an anchor, or if you're only giving benefit and blessings in my life or whatever, you're in my life. If not, then you're gone. I mean, is that, to me, that sounds more like a function of our time, where people have a low tolerance for things. I mean, but again, Bob again talks about love is patient, love endures, love is all these things,
right?
And people aren't down for none of that now. It's like, oh, you hurt me, you're gone, or you do. So just talk about your general sense from what you remember of that, and just that concept overall. Again, I do wish King. I did reach out to him a while ago before I came on, but he might be. I don't think he'll get a chance to jump on. Like I said, we may entertain that in the future
Right.
show. But just what are your thoughts on that?
I think what it is, he feels like if you're holding him back in any way, shape, or form, like he's moving forward. Like he's moving forward, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if you're that person that's going to try to stop him or hold him back, he's done with you. That's what I got. That's what I got from what he was saying. Because he feels like even if you don't agree, but if you want him to succeed, it goes back to what I've always said from a book I've read. You got 3 types of people. You got dream takers, dream fakers, and dream makers. And from what I'm getting, if you're a dream taker, he wants nothing to do with you at all.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got. That's why he said if you're an anchor, he cuts you off. You're a dream taker, I want nothing to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
To me, if you're a dream faker, I'll keep my distance. Because if you're a dream faker, you can fall in one or two places. You could be a dream taker, or you could become a dream maker. And a dream maker is the person that wants you to succeed, that wants you to grow, that wants you to cross that finish line. And they're not afraid to tell you if you're doing something wrong and help you stay on track.
Sometimes the blunt truth is the best.
Exactly.
It might hurt at the beginning, but in Greece we have an old saying: the people who care for you make you cry, and the people who are damaging to you make you laugh.
Mhm.
It took me years and years to understand that, but now it makes sense. The people who really cared about me over the years, I end up crying. But the people who are not in my life anymore always make me laugh. Maybe painful thoughts on that one. And it's ironic how it turns out to.
Mhm.
Because you never expect somebody who's most caring, loving person to actually maybe break your heart to bring you back to a reality, to a
Mhm.
fiction place. And that's something that we all need to hear sometimes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, but what about again certain relationships though? Like, how does that even sound? Like, if your wife is a dream taker or whatever, you're out, or like he said, even if it was his daughter, she would be out. That to me that's an
That's a
extreme
different level too.
level of thought process, and that's what I'm saying. Is like because I can take that to some degree, like different friends and whatnot. Yeah, get around positive people and people who share your visions and dreams and people who edify. I get that to a point, but then there's certain relationships where you are anchored. Your wife, if from the Christian perspective, you basically set a covenant bond for better, for worse, for richer, for poor, in sickness and in health.
Yes. I mentioned
But
that.
what if she gets sick and poor and, you get all three of those? Is that a reason to leave? Or are you saying, look, I'm bouncing. As soon as, if I feel that you become this, I'm bouncing. Do you break your covenant because you think that, okay, that this isn't cool? Or like I said, your kids. I mean, you're the one who chose to bring your kids into the world. And, we have this thing about unconditional love, certainly for your kids. So, or whatever, you're willing to give your life for your kids. But then if you're going to say that, okay, well, if my kids become an anchor, then they're gone. I mean, so I think this, I get the attitude, the mindset, especially if you really passionate about something, pursuing your dreams or whatever, building a business, doing something great, and you don't want anything taking you off your grind, your floor. I get that to a degree, but but it's almost like when family becomes inconvenient. Not that they necessarily did anything so bad to you or whatever, or do something to the degree of what's that tonight, but can that be somewhat dangerous in that you get to a point where it's like, This is kind of swinging the pendulum a little bit too far to the other side, where it's like, you know, you become almost too self-absorbed.
I think what it is also with King, he's probably put in a significant amount of time and work to get to where he is.
Oh yeah, he definitely.
Between his time in the Air Force, I know he did mention he was married and divorced. So maybe there's something that happened.
Yeah, also Bill, and he, like I said, I think he shared on the other night. I mean, he had to do a lot to financially just to get himself back to a stable state. He's done a lot to get to a point where he could move in with Michelle and start this, you know, this new life. And again, he got the domestic partnership. So again, he took 2 steps forward in terms of that relationship, where he was saying, and he even said that night, that the M word wasn't so scary or wasn't so out of the question, where it's like a year or two ago, he was like, you know, Peter was saying, like, you can't say that M word in front of him.
Because anyone who's been divorced, they feel reluctant for doing the second time. That was my brother.
Like, so King's backstory here, I'll give you the brief version of it. I know, and he's spoken about it online multiple times. So nothing I'm not sharing he already has.
Right.
He was in the Air Force. He got married right before he went in.
That's what it is right there. Yeah. That's the mistake right there.
So as you know, things didn't go well, obviously. They drifted completely apart. And when he found out he had a heart condition, he got discharged, obviously. And that's at the same time of his divorce, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And he was hurting financially, so he worked his ass off to get in a better place for himself and his daughter. That's all he cared about. But even his always hard work, and he means what he says. And like, he's a rare apple, I call it, because he says things in a different way than most of us won't think about it. He processes things different than we do. So
those guys are always different. They think they're always better. I can say that.
You're a hater.
I can say that. But no, I get what it is, because he probably went through. I can imagine what he had to go through between finding out he couldn't serve anymore because of a medical condition, and at the same time, his marriage is ending.
Mm-hmm.
And the one person you figured that would be there to help him, to let him know everything's going to be all right, you'll be able to move forward from this, let me help you start your next chapter in your life, would be his wife. And the fact that she wanted nothing to do with him while he's going through this is what hurt him even more. And of course, getting divorced, and probably all the other financial things he had to do.
Listen, like he told me multiple times, like, again, the storyline might be not as accurate like he can say it, so take it a grain of salt, but you get the idea pretty much. I know he said to me, like, with his ex, they're better friends than in a relationship. So fast forward to recent time, I met King about the same time Michelle and him got together. And I met it publicly. I met him through a friend named CQ, who's been a good friend to me and to the channel. Very good friend. And you know, Anton, who he is now. I believe you spoke to him correctly?
I spoke to him a few times, yeah.
Yeah. So CQ is an awesome guy. So when I met King, he was excited about that. You know, I was about to start a YouTube thing, and oh my God, he got excited. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, someone's interested in my shit. I thought it'd be boring, actually. No one's gonna be watching this shit. So anyway, he was my biggest supporter at the beginning. And when I saw the relation blooming, I literally look at CQ like, he's gonna get married again. Like, I don't think so. I do. So fast forward, you know, we were on a couple panels, the Real Precious via Zach, and I called him out like, so when is the wedding? But man, I used to bust his balls, and Michelle, she got to the point now she gets upset with it, because like, okay, we were getting married when we're ready. If we get married, yeah, people always throw it as a joke, but now, you know, when you joke something too much, now it's getting now it's annoying. All right, like fuck off kind of thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I get that. And when she said it on air, like, please stop joking about it. I don't think it's funny anymore. I backed off. To her. But for him, he's still a target. So
He gets
Air
it.
Force, so you're allowed to pick out Air Force and Navy guys. That's and Coast Guard.
Yeah.
Like Army and Marines, you can't get away with it as much. Yeah, but my old joke aside, and I have told him multiple times this, and I think Paul, you're gonna back me up on this. Michelle is perfect for him in any shape, way, or form. They're different, but they make it work, and
Yeah.
that's the beauty about their relationship.
Yeah.
Same thing with my wife. My wife and I are different, and people
Make it work. The big, like, one thing I was concerned. Never said that to him because that's not my business. I backed off. I didn't say anything. And like, as a friend, sometimes you have to watch from a distance and let things unfold.
Yes.
And now I see the different side of him a little bit. Is like, she's very religious. He's not religious at all, but he respects religion. I want to make that clear. King respects religion. He might not agree or believe it, and that's his prerogative,
Right.
but he will respect it. If something, let's say a funeral or something like that happens, he will go to church. He has no problem. A wedding, he will go to it. Doesn't mean he's going to be like, I see
Right.
God. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much I love to him, it would become like that. But that's not facts. King is one of those people you can trust with your life. And I know he has your back. Even at times he's promised me to come visit me, he has not. And so I'm going to rub it in his face. But he's one of those few people. If you guys remember on the gray area, I said, I believe it was a Sunday, I'm not mistaken. I have made an arrangement. Something, God forbid, happened to me. Somebody's going to take care of me.
I remember you to say that. I did.
All right. Those two people, I'll tell you who they are now. All right. Are King and CQ. The reason I picked those two is simple. CQ knows me for years, and that's one reason. King, I feel he'll be level-headed to take care of what he needs to take care of. The reason I didn't pick, let's say, Paul, for example, or anybody else, I didn't want to put the burden on you guys. I know very well, Anton and Paul. No offense, Greg, you're too far to handle this. If I put that on you guys, that's too much for you guys. You guys have family and kids. They have family and kids too, but they don't have like 3 women and what are you? 6 kids and 3 grandkids, Anton?
5 kids and 3 grandkids.
You have so much going on. That's not fair for me when I kick the bucket to ask you, hey, dude, make sure you put me in the ground. And by the way, I need you to do this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this. Oh, by the way, I need you to do this.
Honestly, like I was saying earlier, I was the go-to person for the film director. She went to me. Between my wife, my other sister-in-law, my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my sister-in-law's estranged husband, it was just a lot of stuff.
And that's my point. The respect I have for you gentlemen and the love for you guys. And I love you guys like you're my own brothers. I don't have any brothers, but I love you guys like that much.
Yeah, right.
Fuck off over there. Before I make you choke like microphone.
I'm only playing with you, bro.
Yeah. So I know. So truthfully, it's not fair for me to put that burden on you guys.
Right.
CQ was a little, I don't know.
Yeah, I get it. I can imagine, like, yo, dude, seriously?
Yeah. King was the opposite. It was like he was actually honored. My joke with him, like, dude, I know it's a lot of money, but please, make sure you do the right thing. Don't blow on yourself, bro.
He just looked at it as like, challenge accepted, no problem, no hesitation.
So I have things in motion already. If something happens,
Right.
I have pre-recorded videos for you guys. I have videos for them. Everything's set.
Right. And that's important too sometimes because people don't realize, like, and I learned that with this situation last month, it's hard to take your emotion out of it. It's
And it's that my point. And those two guys are been through hell and back. King is a little bit King and CQ are a little bit cold emotions because of the military, and you know that personally.
Yeah.
They don't mean they don't love people. They do. They have a different
Know how
way of
to-
handling it.
Just know how to just say, you know what? We just not
Like
turn-
recently, for example, again, this is public too with CQ. He unfortunately lost his brother-in-law,
Ooh.
very young age. Don't know what happened,
Mm.
but he had it. He was upset. He cried. He did his mourning. But when it came down to the preparations and everything, I don't know for a fact he took lead, but I'm pretty sure he did. Even he was Air Force and the military probably buried him.
Right.
Somebody has to be the liaison end of the day.
Exactly. Someone had to be that connection. And sometimes if you're not in the service, you're not gonna have an understanding how things go.
And I realized I needed to do this. I'll be honest with you. Between his brother dying and Alex dying, I could be next any minute.
Right.
So, like I said, I have my goodbye videos already made, and most people don't do that. Don't have a video saying, you know what, guys, cheers last time, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I know it's creepy, it's weird, but they're in motion at least, just in case anything happens. And when it times to throw the dirt over my body, at least I know I did everything for you guys I could.
Right.
For every single person is in my life. My team. I always call you guys my team.
Right.
I always Anton, you back me up. You're the newest member of this place. I don't say this is my channel. I say it's
Our channel.
because I can't do this by myself.
Right. I remember, honestly, my uncle did the same thing a long time back. He made some recordings on cassette. To my aunt, to my cousins.
Mhm.
And this is going back 30 years ago. My cousin Colette still to this day has those cassettes. Still to this day.
So how I broke it down is everybody has an individual video, a group video
Mm-hmm.
for the team and for CQ and them, because I think it's fair for you guys to have that. Don't worry, I'm in good health. I'm not kicking a bucket anytime soon.
No.
Like
Things like that are
Oh,
important
okay.
because sometimes,
Shut
seriously,
up over there.
I'm being serious. Like when my best friend passed away, it hurt. And I haven't
And
heard
it's funny you said that because when me and CQ have been talking about this a couple times, all right? And CQ and my buddy George are the best friends I ever had. George lives in Greece, CQ is here. So I'm a little closer to CQ right now because
Right.
of the distance thing, right?
right.
And after we talked about it a couple times, I had time to process it a little bit. You know, when you have a conversation, you need time to process the conversation.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad conversation. I just need time to process it.
Right.
And I'm thinking, like, I know CQ's health is up and down always because he has back injuries. He's been shot multiple times in the service. That adds up. You know that, Anton. You've seen buddies of yours go through that.
Yes.
So, God forbid something ever happened to CQ, for example, right? How would I react? It's going to be probably the worst day of my life. And you know that better than anybody in time because you went through it.
Yes. That it still hurts to this day at times because there are times when I could go through something, I can call him up, but we'll be on the phone for 2-3 hours, just and vice versa.
A great example when I talk to him on the phone. Yeah, we can't be on 2-3 hours because he is a father, he is a husband, he's
Right.
a YouTuber, and he has a full-time job. I
Right.
get it. And he runs a sport group on top of that. So, but when we talk, it feels like we didn't skip a beat. Same
Right.
thing when I see my best friend in Greece. When I saw him last time, it didn't skip a beat, just like that. And when we talked on the phone, just like that. And that's the kind of family you have.
Yeah.
To me, you guys are more family than anybody ever had. Like this guy down there, Paul. Remember what happened to Alex, who I called out when Alex passed?
I remember you told me the story too. I remember.
Paul. Because I felt he would understand more. Me and him were closer because we're Beagle dads. he will understand the pain. Epilepsy, I knew he was up too. He doesn't sleep. He's a zombie.
Really?
I thought Paul would be your great great grandfather.
Oh, shit.
You've reached your limit.
He's afraid to find out. Though.
Shut the fuck
I'm sorry.
You
I had to put that
don't
one
you
in.
start with the DNA shit.
He's afraid to find out.
But seriously, I called Paul. But if Paul knew I was about 30 minutes away from you, I think was it right, Paul?
Mhm.
He would have got in his car. I didn't tell him I was in Jersey
Mm.
because I knew he's a father and a husband. His wife was like, "Where the hell are you going at this hour?" He has some answering to do when he gets home. I'm not gonna put him in that situation.
Honestly, when I told my best friend about what happened, he was like, he lives in North Carolina. He was living in North Carolina. He lived in Raleigh. And he's like, bro, if you need me, just say the word. I know I'm 10 hours away. I'll be there in 6. Do I need to bring my tools? I was like, bro, you don't need to bring your tools. I got a handle.
And that's my point. I know we're off subject, and that's a fine. We're about to shut down in a minute. But same to you, Anton. I know we didn't know each other very well at the time. But when I told you about Alex, what was my reaction?
Ooh. I still see the hurt in your face. I can still see how much it bothers you. It was like, damn.
I love Apollo with that thing. Like now he's learning slowly to sleep upstairs with me, and like he has a habit. He likes laying his chest right on my chest, like Alex used to do. I'm like, some things he does, he reminds me of Alex, but in a good way.
Right.
And some things he does, like, well, if Alex was around, he would teach you a little better. But it does a good thing for me. You know what I'm saying? That is my way to move on a little bit.
I say move forward. I say
Also heal at the same time.
Say that again?
exactly.
Also heal at the same time.
Yeah, he's my emotional support animal, I call it. Everybody has their own way of healing way.
Right.
Some people say it was way too soon to get a new dog. That's their opinion. You don't have to live in this house and make that opinion.
Right.
I'm okay with my choice.
My sister went through that when she lost her cat. And I remember when we had a family gathering, she was talking about it. And I could tell it was like how much it still bothered her. And the first thing I did, I just put my hands on her shoulder to let her know it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to feel this way.
There are moments that I can speak about it, like right now.
Yeah.
There are moments I break down like it was yesterday.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And I remember after Gina's funeral, like I was so busy making sure things were in order. I remember there were times my wife was like, how are you doing? Like, how are you doing? Are you okay? And I remember when I was typing in ChatGPT about the situation, and when it made me realize like everything that went down, I just started to cry because it made me realize, bro, look what you were able to do. Here's a very difficult situation, but you kept it together. You kept your head on. You took charge. You didn't do it because you wanted attention. You did it because it was the right thing to do. And at the same time, my sister-in-law Gina, she didn't just see me as, oh, that's my sister's husband. She saw me as her big brother.
I totally get it, bro. I'll give you another scenario. About 2.5 years now, almost. November 30th. I'll never forget that day. Paul knows where I'm going with this already. Came home from work. Mom looked at me like, what were we having for dinner? I'm like, I got to do a show in a little bit. Let me grab something from Wawa. Wawa's literally right behind this wall across the parking lot. I'm literally neighbors with him. I can walk there in less than 3 minutes. And Paul,
like that, quick check of where I'm at.
Yeah. So, average day. Short version of the story is a fight broke out. A 17-year-old kid gets shot in the neck and dies instantly by a 25-year-old.
Wow.
I witnessed everything.
Wow.
I was the one getting anybody out of there. Like I just reacted. I didn't think. I just reacted. Anyway, long story short, for a full year, I can close my eyes and hear the gunshots still. That is not something that's going away very soon.
Exactly.
People are calling me, even CQ. Like he goes like, I was talking like, hey, how you doing? Like, forget about me, bro. He goes, what about you? You just went through man. And I asked him a question. I'm like, dude, you've been through this. Does it ever go away? Like he goes, I can't answer that because I went through combat.
Right.
Two different fucking things. He goes,
You expect that's expected.
yes. You didn't go combat. You want to get fucking dinner. And except getting dinner, you got a deaf kid in yourself.
Yeah.
It's not the. I'm telling you right now, seeing someone die in front of you is not the easiest thing in the world.
No, it's not.
The worst thing in the world.
No, it's not. And I wasn't there when my sister-in-law passed. My wife was there, and my brother-in-law, the one in the Marines, he called me up, and I'm like, "What happened?" And he's like, "She has no pulse." I was like, "They haven't called us." No, they're waiting for a doctor. And I was like, "So she's gone." He's like, "Yeah, he's gone. She's gone." And I was like, "Okay." They haven't called it yet, but they're probably going to call it the next few. But I wanted to let you know. I was like, all right, thanks, little bro. And my daughter was here. And I told her. And she was hurt, but she was, she knew this was going to happen. And I told my other nieces and nephews, and they were not shocked, but they kind of was just like, they finally had a chance to exhale. Like, she's gone,
bro. Like I use Alex again for example. When when we got to the vet hospital in Jersey, he wasn't breathing for a while. They told me we want CPR. They grabbed my arm and go, your dog has me doing CPR. Like I go, yeah. And I'm waterworks. The nurse grabbed my arm and says he'll be fine. We'll do the best we can. The doctor came in and out 3-4 times. We're working on him. But after 20 minutes, they told me straight up, like, usually animals don't come back after this point. And I remember kissing him when they brought his body in, lifeless. Never expected him in a million years that day. Paul said it perfectly. And he said, in 24 hours, my life changed. And it did.
It did, yeah. Same thing with my sister-in-law.
Yeah.
After that, we the one good thing about the hospital she was at, she used to work there, and a good number of the nurses and some of the doctors, also remember her. So there were some things that they didn't do. They extended, like after she passed. Sometimes they'll let people stay there for a few minutes before they have to move her. They gave us like a good 45 minutes to an hour. They literally extended like an extra, a little bit longer than it was supposed to.
Yeah, like 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very common with people. Like, even if I would go back to the hospital I worked at and people recognize me, most people have left, but let's say they did recognize me, I'm pretty sure they're going to make sure,
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
When I
we're coming to the end. Let's start getting our final thoughts in. Let's get Anton first, Paul, and Greg last, and I'll always close out with the updated schedule. All right, Paul, go ahead. Did I say Anton or Paul first? Okay, I'm sorry. Paul, you go first.
I'll go first. Yeah, I mean, I think that the idea of forgiving or letting people go, like I said, I think you're going to have to do both at certain times. But again, that idea of forgiveness, again, that's about you letting go of things that are stopping you from appreciating what you do have. People may hurt you, but you get to a point where you can appreciate those around you, the world around you, what you've overcome to get to where you're at. So, unforgiveness, I do think is a, even if you wanted to use it as a fuel, as was said earlier, whatever, again, it's only going to last so long. It's just a burst. But again, it has no sustaining power. And so that's why I would always, suggest that people learn the act of forgiveness as much as possible. But that doesn't mean you necessarily, again, reconcile or restore with people. But you do what you need to do so that you can have a productive life and look forward to the future, new opportunities, new relationships, new blessings. But you have people who live in unforgiveness. They think they can't appreciate what's around them. They're always complaining. A person is living in a state of unforgiveness when they're always complaining about what's wrong and not looking at what's going right. And for those around them who are trying to stay part of their lives, they see that too. And again, they don't become the nicest and most pleasant people to be around. So forgiveness is about protecting yourself and you doing better so that you can then be a blessing and benefit to other people. So just do that. But it's okay. There's certain people who don't need to be in your life anymore, who don't belong in your life anymore. People come into your life for a reason. Some people come into your life for a season, and it's okay to let those things go. But again, let go any kind of hate or bitterness. Let those things go, so that you can go in and be your best. So that's all I got.
Wow, this has basically been one of the most powerful shows I think we've done in quite some time, and I'm glad to be a part of this. Usually, it's always hard to forgive the individuals that we've always valued and appreciated who've hurt us. My wife, because of some things, she can say she don't have a problem cutting people off. For me, that's never that easy. It never is. And when I had to do that with my brother-in-law, that was no hesitation. And I guess a part of me is still because of the fact that I helped raise him after his mother died. But I guess this last month of everything that my family went through, especially losing my sister-in-law, it kind of helped me put a lot of things in perspective about the importance of family and the importance of people being there. And I understand why some people feel like just, the person's holding you back, cut them off. But also at the same time, it's never that easy. And sometimes you have to be okay with the decision that you make. No one's telling you what is the right decision, the wrong decision. But there are times you're going to have to make that decision. And if you're okay with that, then the hell with everyone else says. And I think that sometimes we have to go through things like that to make us understand the importance of people that you keep around you. We always talk about the importance of the company that you keep. You don't have to agree on everything, but if you work together to build each other up, that's the company you want to hold on to for however long as possible. So this is one of the many challenges when it comes to forgiveness and everything else and reconciliation, like Paul said. It's one of the many challenges. There's never, I guess, a right or a wrong answer. There's the results of what you made, and if you're okay with that. And if you're okay with whatever decision you make, so be it. And the hell with everyone else thinks. And that's all I gotta say. And those are the words we're thinking about.
I don't have much. I think you can forgive a few people, and you can't forgive a lot of people for what they do, especially certain people in our lives. That's it. Sorry, I'm sorry, Pete.
You guys are good. Really depends on the situation. In my opinion, like I have said, in my case, I have forgiven my cousin multiple times. but this time it was too far. So process it before you do cut them off. Give it time. And if it still bothers you over time, maybe it is time to cut them off. But let's do a quick schedule update. This week is Mano a Mano. Me and Anton are going over Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Who is the better one? Maybe I can get Paul actually ask the questions so I can sit back and actually kick Anton's butt this time. So, except that on Monday we are having a wrestling show. I haven't posted because I don't know the topic, because wrestling is kind of a thing you kind of have to wing it at the last minute because everything's changed so fast.
I think I know the perfect topic for next week.
We'll talk about it after the air then. But then next week, this is a topic Paul has been looking forward to, I think, is cancer culture versus accountability. When does judgment go too far? So, except that, guys, as always, this was a Spartan. I am the Spartan, my man, the UK ugly mug over there, Greg.
Yeah,
and
I've got
Anton.
something before Paul goes.
What happened?
I've got something before Paul goes.
What?
I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm gonna out. Goddamn picture down now, you little shit. Greg, turn your camera off for me. I want to see you when I say this. Turn your camera off for a second, dude. All right. You want to keep playing this game? You do understand, as the CEO of this network and your boss, I can suspend your ass very easily. Anyway, all joking aside, guys. So I am the Spartan. He is a UK ugly mug over there. My man Anton, my man Paul, as always. Stay fresh, stay safe. And I'll see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, have a good one. Be safe.